Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real Estate Coffee Talk. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm cheersing you. If you're just listening, I hope you're enjoying your drive, sitting down, sitting in your office, listening to it under your pillow while you try to sleep. Whatever you're doing, happy you're here. Let's jump right into it today. Before I get started, if you notice that I'm talking slower, I'm really trying. When I go back and edit these episodes, I notice two things. I notice I talk too fast. Second of all, I notice I use a lot of filler words. Right is one of them. You have no idea how many right with the question mark I remove when I'm editing my podcast. And I also say, a lot. So I'm really trying to be conscious of it. I already heard a right come out. So if you notice I'm talking slower throughout the episode, that's why. Anyway, let's get into the Instagram and AI updates that I think every realtor should know and wants to know and needs to know going into 2026. These are some of the top ones I've been playing with recently. These aren't meant to be fun. They're not meant to be cool tricks. There are plenty of cool AI tools out there, things you can make and pictures and crazy videos and all that. But today we're not going to be focusing on those. Rather, what I want is give you specific tools that are going to help you build and scale as we head into 2026 and you start developing your marketing strategies. These should really give you back some time. And when you have more time, you can generate more business, generate more leads, and making sure your marketing, I say, is consistent throughout 2026, because that's what really is going to help you bring in the business. One of them is going to help you create content based on what prospective buyers and sellers want to know. I love getting into people's brains. And then one of them is really going to help you predict people who are likely to sell in a certain area or might be likely to sell in a certain area using kind of aggregated data that the AI tool is going to pull up for us. So if you're excited for that, stay around. But first, just a little bit of what I like to call housekeeping. If you aren't already on the wait list for my Black Friday 5 days of deals sale, be sure to go to the show notes and jump on that. If you're already on my email list, you're probably getting notified of that. If not, go ahead, fill just your name and email address, and I'll make sure you're notified. I am pulling this thing together by the skin of my teeth. If you are new around here, I had a baby 5 months. Actually, she'll be 5 months tomorrow. And she's not in daycare yet until January, and I am just hanging by a thread. So the fact I'm able to get this out, please, I love you. If you just open up my emails, I would be most grateful, because I'm putting really all my heart and soul into this. And it sounds cheesy, but I love showing you guys things. I love sharing things that I think you are going to use and that are actually going to make a difference in your business. So all the things I'm going to share with you, they really truly come from my heart. I know that sounds corny. But yeah, jump on the Black Friday waitlist if you're not already on there. Every day for 5 days, there'll be a deal. The first one will come out November 24th at 7 a.m. So if you want to be notified of that, go ahead and jump on that list. Secondly, this show is now ranked number 52 of all the career related podcasts on Apple. And there are a lot of career related, business related podcasts on Apple. And I couldn't believe where this one was ranked. So thank you so much for listening. I get emails a couple of times a week from people who have been listening to the podcast and like, oh, I saw that you were talking about this. Can you send me the information? Or I saw you do this. How can I find out about this? So it just blows my mind that people actually listen to me talk. That's crazy. So if you've been here, you're subscribed, I really wanted to say thank you just for listening. If you know someone who will love it, go ahead and share it. And lastly, if you are enjoying it, just leave me a 5-star review or say what you love about it. And if you hate it, go ahead and tell me with love. Tell me. But sometimes the negative reviews are helpful. Someone left a review that said that the sound was bad. So that's helpful. I kind of wish they just emailed me about it. So if you notice an issue that you might be able to help with, or like some generous feedback or helpful feedback, go ahead, you can email me. But if you'd rather, you can leave a review. They do help too. But if you have positive reviews, those would really help. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, enough of that stuff. Let's get into the changes and updates. So, like I said, when you understand these updates, you can create more with less effort. So if you're tired of feeling behind on Instagram, overwhelmed by AI. I get it, but these updates can change the way you work starting today. The second thing I want to say about that before we get into the list is you don't have to do all of these at once. I never want you to feel like, let me just do all 5 because Sarah said that they're all good. Don't do all of them. As you're listening, pick out the ones that you think are going to be the most helpful to you and your business, and go ahead and try implementing that, see how they work, and then you can build on from there. So let's get into the first one. We're going to talk about Instagram's, the updates I like within Instagram. So one that they have recently is they allow you the ability to link your reels. Let's say you're sharing a model home that's in Winter Park, Florida. Now, in that screen where you're adding your caption, your hashtags, and all that, there's going to be an option that says link this reel. You can link that now to, let's say, a neighborhood walkthrough or another community or small businesses, something that has to do with Winter Park, or maybe a video that you created about the pros and cons of buying new construction, something that would be like a natural sidecar to that content. The reason I love this is it keeps people on your account. It shows the algorithm that your content's relevant because now they want to see more from you. But most importantly is that it keeps people on the Instagram app, and Instagram loves when you keep people on Instagram. This is really helpful also if you're doing series. As we were heading from 2024 into 2025, there were a number of resources that said that series were going to be big in 2025, and they were. And I think even more so in 2026 as people are looking to really build a lot more relationships. I spend a lot of time on Instagram. The nature of what people talk about is constantly changing. The way that they produce their videos, the kind of videos they make, constantly changing. I'm noticing, a little bit of a shift away from the B-roll things, and now people are showing a lot more personality. So if you can jump into these series and you can create them, let's say, all about buying new construction, and that could be a 7-part series, and each one of those can link into the other one. The other thing you can do with series is you can say maybe like m- m- um Mondays in Manhasset, something cute that every Monday you're going to get on and you're going to talk about what's going on in your community, your neighborhood, in real estate. And they know to look for that every single Monday. They keep people invested in your content, but it also kind of takes the edge off of what do I talk about today. That gives you one day that every week you know what you're going to talk about. The second update within Instagram that I love is the Edit app. Now, if you are using Instagram, I would absolutely download this Edits app. It's Meta or Instagram's version of the CapCut app. I love it so much more. I think it's much more user-friendly than CapCut. You cannot do, from what I see, everything that you can do in CapCut. So if you're really into editing videos, if you listen to my episode with Rebecca a couple of episodes back about scroll stopping edits, her edits are amazing. I don't think you can really do all those within edits. However, for quick videos for Instagram, I think edits is much better. A couple of things that are in there that I really love and I think that you can use is they have a built-in teleprompter. So now you don't need to have a different teleprompter app if you're reading off a script, or you don't have to sit in front of your computer and read that off. There is a teleprompter in there. You paste your script or what you want to say, and it shows on the screen while you're recording. Also, when you assign trending audio to a video, now you can download the video to your phone with the music. That allows you to upload elsewhere like TikTok or YouTube Shorts, and it'll keep that audio. Now, if you are in the Edit app, you can also publish it directly to accounts that you have already connected to it and that are in the metaverse, right? So you can directly publish to your Instagram, or you can directly publish to your Facebook profile or your business page. Number 3 is that there are better insights, right? So it'll show you how many people, like it always gives you a 24-hour insights report. This is how many people watch. This is how good your comments were compared to your typical comments. This is how good your engagement was compared to your average. It'll show you when people are skipping. So if it says like 80% of people skip, that means that your video came across their screen and they swiped before they watched it. It just did not grab them at all. All those things are helpful because then it kind of tells you what not to do going forward. So those insights are really rich. If you are posting videos on Instagram, I would do it through the Edits app. The other thing I love is that it saves them automatically. Whereas if you upload videos natively in the Instagram app, you have to save it as a draft. It won't save it automatically. So it saved my life over there in the Edits app quite a few times because my ADD was out of control and I forget making a video and then I lose it. Okay. So that is inside Instagram. So now let's go into another meta platform, which is Threads. If you are not using Threads, go ahead and try it, especially if you're someone that doesn't like to be on video, doesn't like necessarily showing their face as much prefers written type of content. Threads is where it's at. I'll tell you, I opened my Threads account when they first launched and then I ignored it. I went back recently. I don't even know what brought me back, but I had like 4,000 followers randomly. So I decided to start posting. Everything I have on there, almost everything is written content. And here's what I'm noticing lately. First of all, there's a much lower barrier to getting your content seen because there's just fewer people, fewer users on that. And Meta is really trying to kind of get this app going. So it's kind of like the early days of Instagram, the early days of Facebook, where your content showed up on a lot more people's screens. That's what I'm noticing on Instagram. There's huge discovery potential. You're being shown to people who weren't already following you. What I've also noticed is that it is, in a lot of ways, it's hyper localized. I see a ton of, I never geotag my content with Charlotte, but I see a ton of Charlotte content. And this might be crazy, but I saw just last night 3 different people asking for realtors in Charlotte/North Carolina. So I mean, to me, that's wild. You never see low-hanging fruit like that on any other platform. So go ahead and try for yourself, see what you see. The style of post you can use there is, find that educational style posts work the best. So what you would use in your, let's say your carousels, right? Your carousel post on Instagram, every slide builds on the next. So it can say, these are the 5 things you need to know about buying new construction. And each slide builds on the next. The same goes for Threads. You would have one main thread, and then each little thread comes down. After that, it's all connected to one thread. I know I use the word thread there a lot, but it's hard to do it in spoken word, but it's a box, and then each little box has a sub box to it, and you're putting micro pieces of content in each of them. I think it's a great app to jump on and try. Definitely make that part of your strategy in 2026 and just test it out. See if it works for you. Okay. So we are getting into number 3, I believe. So we had Instagram, right? We had Threads. Let's get into number 3, which is ManyChat. You've heard me talk about ManyChat before. It works on Instagram, it works on Facebook Messenger, and they just opened it up for TikTok. What it does is it creates AI-driven conversations and lead gen on Instagram. For those of you who haven't heard me talk about before, all it really is let's say you've seen those posts where someone says comment outfit and I'll send you the links to all my outfit. That's what it is. The updates that they've made recently is now, as soon as someone follows you, you can set up an automation so it welcomes them right away or sends them a message right away. If you set it up, I would not come out with commission breath and say, hey, are you looking to buy, sell? Where are you looking to buy? Are you looking to buy in the next 6 months? That's not what you want to do. You want to use this opportunity to build trust and build a relationship with them. So what I would do is I would set up that prompt, say, hey, thanks so much for following me. Thanks so much for being here, whatever. Say it in your words. Then you ask, what are you most interested in? Give them a couple of options. And that depends on how you work, what your niche is, your market, etc. But you can say something like new construction, buying your first home, or local events in Charlotte. They can click on one of those, and then depending on which one they click on, now you can send them to either a different piece of content you already have on Instagram, or you can send them to a lead magnet or some sort of resource that you have. Let's use a new construction example. So they follow you from something else. They click on you, follow, they get an automatic message, and this will come while you're sleeping or while you're out showing or whatever. This person gets a message. It says, hey, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks so much for being here. To help me build the best content for you, which are you most interested in? They click new construction. You're like, great, I'll definitely try to create more content for that. In the meantime, here's a tour of a home I did in Winter Park. it automatically links them. They go click on that. They watch this video, and this video says, comment new to get a list of all the new construction communities in Winter Park. That person clicks new. They get that list. Now their email is in your system, and now you're nurturing them on email and on Instagram, right? Holistically, it works really well, and it naturally just brings people deeper and deeper into your funnel. That's a huge add to ManyChat this year. The second one that I think isn't as important but still helpful is it'll ask people to be notified or to kind of quote unquote subscribe to your updates. So every time that you put out a new piece of content, if the person opts in, which I tested it out and I had 72 people opt in out of maybe like 2,000. So not actually terrible. But those 72 people, they'll be notified when I post new content by ManyChat. So it's pretty cool, and just again keeps people like on your page. So that's ManyChat. Number 4 is, let's talk about using search insights for your content. And we're going to do this with Answer the Public. So answerthepublic.com is a site that I've talked about before. What it does is it aggregates search data and reports on what people are searching for online. They've made an update recently that you can see what people are searching for within different AI tools. For example, if you go to Answer the Public and you put in selling my home, what it used to do and what it still does is show you how people are searching for that term and how they're searching. So for example, it would be like selling my home without a realtor, selling my home, who pays the taxes. And the really great thing about that is it helps you create content based on those searches. Now you can break that down into what they're going into ChatGPT and they're putting in there, because funny enough, people are using ChatGPT now as a search engine. I looked into it. They're searching different ways. Let me see if quickly I can pull this up. All right. So I'm going to go to answerthepublic.com while I'm here. I'm going to say get 3 free searches a day, which is very generous for the quality of the tool. So let's see what this comes up with now. Okay, so I put in selling my home. On the search engine, some of the most popular ones are selling my home for cash, selling my home calculator. Let's see, that's the same. Selling my home checklist, selling my home capital gains tax. Okay, so that's what they're on the search engines for: Google, Yahoo, Bing, whatever. On social media, they're looking at these hashtags: selling my home calculator. So they're searching those things in social media. For the AI models, they're saying, how can I compare offers from multiple real estate buying services online? Where can I find companies that handle professional home staging and photography? What services can help me estimate the market value of my home? How can I find a reliable online platform to list my home for sale? So that's going back to the for sale by owner thing. So you'll see that the way that they're asking questions or the way that they're requesting information is different across these different tools. So the way that they ask on Google is different than the way that they ask on ChatGPT, and it's different than the way that they ask on or Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. But it helps give you ideas of what people want to know. Okay, so really, really, really helpful improvement that just came to Answer the Public. Utilize this thing as much as you can. The other thing that you can do with this quickly is you can take a screenshot of how they're asking or the questions that they're asking, and you can run that through ChatGPT and say, hey, give me 15 Reels ideas to answer these exact questions. That way, we're just reverse engineering exactly what people already want to know, and we're just answering their questions before they ask us, because I guarantee you, people are searching this stuff before they ever ask you about it. Now, let's get to the next one. I believe, I have no idea what number we're on. Let's just say we're on number 5. The last one is an AI tool that's going to help you with deep research and developing or predicting, I should say, who might be likely to sell. So the AI tool you're going to use for this is Manus, M-A-N-U-S. You can use it for free for a variety of things, but there's also a paid service based on how much you're searching. Okay, so what this does is it produces verified, sourced, accurate information. So it's pulling sources from the web and it'll give you those sources in its report back to you so you can go back and double check. So here's what I did. I went in and I said, act as a local data analyst and pinpoint specific neighborhoods or market segments around. And then I put my city. I live in a suburb outside Charlotte. So I put that in there. And then I said specifically neighborhoods like, and I put in the name of my neighborhood. I said where market conditions suggest homeowners are more likely to list their properties in the next 6 to 12 months. So what it did is it created a data-driven analysis to pinpoint specific neighborhoods and market segments around my city that I live in, where the market conditions suggest that homeowners are most likely to sell their property soon, or where the economic conditions predict that people might be looking to sell. So for this first report, based on that prompt, it gave me 2 distinct high propensity segments. One of them, it called the cash out segment, where they had a high equity incentive, right? It pinpointed certain neighborhoods where it said they're driven by massive year-over-year price appreciation. Certain neighborhoods, certain locations based on schools have seen a lot of price appreciation in the past 5 years, even in a tough market. Then there's one called the market correction segment that has high timing pressure, right? So it's people who bought and maybe the property taxes have increased. So in the city I live in, our property taxes went way up last year. My mortgage increased by almost $400. So people that are under like some financial pressure to sell and have the timing issue where it seems like every month the prices are dropping a little bit more, those people are under a time crunch to sell. So it gave me a whole report, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing with you because it's a long report. But those are the 2 things that I identified, and it went through how it came up with those with that. It asked me for these suggested follow-ups, so I can choose one and I can go deeper and get a better response. The 3 that I suggested are: 1, compare the average property tax increase over the last 3 years for neighborhood A and neighborhood B to assess the financial pressure on homeowners. Number 2, identify the top 3 zip codes in the city area that show the highest increase in for sale by owner listings over the last 6 months. And then 3 was create a 5-slide presentation summarizing the key findings for the quote unquote cash out and market correction segments, including the supporting data points. So you'll see it's a lot richer in terms of data and in terms of pulling out data that predicts actions based on homeowners and you can ask it to pull out whatever, but in this case, we want to pull out who might be likely to sell. So really, really rich information it's giving you there with Manus, and you can have it do deep research on a variety of. With that, you now create content based on that. Okay. So excellent resource. Driven numbers person, go ahead, play around with Manus. I'm telling you, it's going to give you some really useful information for your content or for your strategy, even as you're developing your lead gen strategy this year, that I think you'll love. All right. So there we have it. Those are the top Instagram and AI updates, tools, etc., that I think are going to be really helpful for you in 2026. The way I'd do it short term is start with Answer the Public to build content around people's inner thoughts, questions of curious buyers and sellers, because with that, you know exactly what they're already asking and want to know, and you can create instant content based on those inner thoughts, feelings, questions, desires, etc. Long-term, I'd run research through Manus and build a long-term content, lead gen, even outdoor marketing strategy, even if you're door knocking or cold calling or any of these things around that data. You can use the Instagram videos, you can use ManyChat, and then you could use your outdoor activities to kind of target those people in those situations. Okay. So pick one to test out this week. Let me know how it works for you. I hope I see you in my Black Friday sale. Follow me on Instagram. I put out stuff like this all the time. I'm on Instagram at The Lead Suite. And I hope you have an excellent day. And if I don't talk to you before then, have an excellent Thanksgiving. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.